Hi, Elnura. Let's see what you wrote here about stay-at-home dads. Experts throughout both the developing and developed world have debated whether, whether men should go on maternity leave, no comma, when women continue their career. Some believe, no comma, females should bring up the children and stay at home, but personally, I strongly disagree. This essay will discuss both sides using examples from Kazakhstan government to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Let's see. Okay, so the first sentence, fine, we fixed it. And then here you had the other side, you had the other point of view. And so I really think you should have had something to show that this is a different argument. This is a different point of view here, okay? So something like, however, even a however would have been good. Others believe, okay, that would have been nice. So experts believe XYZ. However, others believe females should bring up the child and stay at home. Okay. Um, so that makes it kind of logical and more cohesive. However, I also have to tell you something else. You're not really supposed to talk about both sides, not exactly. Um, you're supposed to talk about the reasons why this is happening and is it positive or negative. Okay, so you have to answer the questions that are asked. You can't just kind of sort of answer it, because what you wrote here um doesn't really cover what the questions are. In any case, I want to see what you wrote for your body paragraphs to see how you develop those, and then let's talk about it further. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that traditional roles, such as only females going on pregnancy, grammar here. I don't know how to fix this because I don't know what you're trying to say. It's like there's no verb. There's no verb. On the one hand, there is ample evidence favoring traditional roles, such as only females going on pregnancy leave while males go to work. All right, so favoring would have been good here. However, government has created good opportunities for both sides. For instance, in Kazakhstan, such other developed countries can go on paternity leave for 56 days from the birth of a child. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that women with adequate and thorough preparation continue to work and find females' happiness. All right, so there are a handful of problems here. First of all, grammar. And second of all, there's not a logical flow in your ideas. Okay. Also, it's not just pregnancy leave or maternity leave. It's actually the decision to stay home while the child grows up. Okay. So your use of pregnancy leave, maternity leave, it's inaccurate because they imply that it's for like 6 months, 9 months, up, maybe a year, depending on the country. This is not what this essay is talking about. It's talking about, um, making a decision to be a stay-at-home dad while the woman works. Okay, so it's a little different here. And I also didn't understand your logic. I really didn't get this. So you're missing a verb here, so that was confusing. And then you said government has created good opportunities. And then you said in Kazakhstan, dads go on paternity leave. Therefore, it's conclusively clear. So you're really missing a lot here. You didn't, I feel like I'm missing a ton of information. So I can't really say that it's a well-developed paragraph. Okay. And there was a lot you could have said. But again, I'm not really clear on what you wanted to say. All right, let's see. On the other hand, allowing women to hold positions typically held by men would set a dangerous precedent for the children. Okay. This is largely because society used to accept women as a housewife who nurtures, does housework, and stops working until the children go to kindergarten. But with the challenges in social beliefs, More parents send their daughters for higher studies instead of preparing them for a married life. Get rid of that the. In many fields, for example, teaching, fashion design, and banking, women are doing better than men. Okay, this is off topic. This is not what they asked you to talk about. And all right, we'll talk about it in a minute. I want to read your conclusion first. To conclude from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that changing roles in a family is possible. There is the modern argument that both genders should give full attention to their child and live in equity. All right, so I wanted to go back to this paragraph because I didn't really get it. I still, again, feel like you didn't answer the question, but this paragraph really rather confused me. So what are you actually telling me here? You're saying that it used to be women only were, they prepared to become homemakers, but then you say parents send their daughters to school, and then you say that they do jobs and they're actually better than men. So I didn't really understand this. And again, I'm going to remind you that you had two specific questions to answer. Why are women working and men are saying, you know what, you go work and I'm going to stay home with the kids? Why is this happening? I really don't feel like you covered that. Like, you talked about women working, women going to school, etc., but you didn't really talk about why would men say, you know what, that's fine, I'll stay home, you go work. Why? Okay, why is that happening? So I needed you to talk about that. This essay, in order to be successful, needs you to talk about both men and women and the reasons why this is happening. What could be the reasons for this? And then you have to tell me if it's good or bad. All right, you have to spend a paragraph explaining your opinion on this. Okay, so this essay needed some work. It definitely had some issues. Okay, so just be aware of that. And let's take a look at your task one. Okay, let's look at this line graph now. One of the trickier tasks to do. Let's see what you did. The line graph presents the amount of rain in Europe countries, England, Scotland, Wales, in the year 2018. Not Europe countries. You could just say in the countries or in the following countries, and that would have been fine. Okay. In England, comma, rainfall, singular, started with 110 ml in January, and the next month slightly increased by 5 and dipped to 90 in March. In June, the lowest level was at 70 and the highest results at 125 in July, September, and December. In the remaining months, rainfall, singular, fluctuated between what are you saying here? Fluctuated between these months. Rainfalls fluctuated between these figures. That's confusing. So far, I really liked it. You picked exactly the information you needed to pick regarding England, so that's fantastic. But that last sentence confused me. In the remaining months, rainfall fluctuated between the high of 125 and the low of 70. Okay, that's how you could have done it. In Scotland, the fluctuation of rainfall was more varied. It all needs to be single. From January to February, it plunged to the lowest point in the graph at 20 ml, and the next month had a peak value, no at, of 130. And the remaining months, rainfalls, again, fluctuated within these numbers. And that's what you said up here. I didn't really like increasing and decreasing. Could you have said something more? I think you probably could have and should have. What are you telling me? You told me the highest point, you told me the lowest point, and then you just said it increased. Couldn't you tell me anything else about Scotland? How about that it started the year at the highest rainfall of the three? Okay. And how about that it had two peaks? It had that one peak in March, but it had another peak in October. And how about the fact that it ended the year just slightly below where it began? Okay, so those are some pieces of information I think you could have and should have mentioned for Scotland. Okay, in Wales, despite the fact that the first month of the years was slightly less than 50 ml, you don't need despite the fact. I don't understand this. You could say, in Wales, the first month of the year was slightly less than 50 ml. Then between February and March, rainfall steadily rose. In the next month, it hit the low point at 25. Then the level of rainfall went up sharply to 110 and dipped by 50 in June. As can be seen from the line graph, the highest amount of rain was in July at 125, and from August to October, it not showed a downward trend. That's not true. It actually showed a plateau from August to October. Overall, it is clear that the wettest country is England. That's a little short. I would have liked something a little more than that. Okay, you could have said overall, although all three countries showed considerable fluctuation, on average, England had the highest rainfall. Okay, that's how you would do it. I'm actually very happy with the information you selected for the most part. I think you did a good job. You did leave some things out. You absolutely had the right idea. I'm very happy that you included the beginnings, the ends, the highs, and those lows. That's important. Okay, but there was some stuff missing and there were some inaccuracies. Alrighty, so nice. Let's see more work from you. Keep at it. Try to keep up a little more. Try to kind of do your essays a little closer together, so this way you can apply and apply the things that you're learning, and we can progress. Okay. Good luck to you.